Our reading is from the Old Testament prophet Isaiah in the 6th chapter. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne high and lofty, and the hem of his robe filled the temple. Seraphs were in attendance above him. Each had 6 wings. With 2 they covered their faces, and with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew. And one called to another and said, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." The pivots on the threshold shook at the voices of those who called, and the house filled with smoke. And I said, "Woe is me! I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. Yet my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." Then one of the seraphs flew to me, holding a live coal that had been taken from the altar with a pair of tongs. The seraph touched my mouth with it and said, "Now that this has touched your lips, your guilt has departed and your sin is blotted out." Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me." Woe is me. That is the cry of Isaiah. Woe is me for the guilt, for the sin. This week marked the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder. He was certainly not the first Black man to die so violently, but it was his death that finally caught many of our attention. It was the video recording that captured every gasping moment for minute after minute after minute that jolted us. And our eyes were opened to see so much more clearly what had been there all along: the racism and the excessive violence, and so many systems in need of significant reform. Woe is me. Woe are we. Have mercy, O God. I grew up in eastern Iowa in the town of Makokata. That name comes from the Native American Bear River. At one time, that whole region was home to many indigenous people. And yet when I was growing up there, though the town had a Native American name, I knew of no Native Americans living in the community. Where were they? Why had they left? Did they choose to leave, or were they forced out? But it never occurred to me to ask any of those questions. Why? Why did I just accept this reality? Woe is me. Woe are we. Have mercy, O God. More childhood memories include many trips to Chicago with my family, where we visited museums and enjoyed a variety of restaurants, and where it was so obvious which were the white neighborhoods and which were the Black neighborhoods. The fancy mansions for the whites and the crowded ghetto apartments for the Blacks. I just accepted that this was the way it was. Why did I not ask, Why? Why the blatant disparities? Why tolerate such inequities? But I didn't seriously pursue any of those questions. Woe is me. Woe are we. Have mercy, O God. This weekend marks the 100th anniversary of a massacre that wasn't even added to history books until the 1960s, more than 40 years after its occurrence. 100 years ago, in 1921, over 2 days of rioting and violence, white residents of Tulsa, Oklahoma, looted and burned scores of Black-owned businesses, a hospital, at least one church, and hundreds of homes. Up to 300 people, most of them Black Americans, were killed. Although accurate numbers are hard to come by, since many bodies were simply dumped in unmarked mass graves. The white rioters threatened firefighters who withdrew from the area, and they were enabled and assisted by local officials with weapons, including airplanes who dropped bombs on buildings. After the governor declared martial law and white mobs dispersed, the Oklahoma National Guard detained 6,000 Black residents for 8 additional days. No white people were detained. Thousands of Black residents fled the city, never to return. Even though the Black business community in Tulsa was among the most prosperous in the United States at the time, the massacre became a taboo subject for Tulsa residents of all races. And it was left out of most history books in the United States until the 1960s. Woe is me. Woe are we. Have mercy, O God. Like Isaiah, we see ever more clearly the guilt upon our shoulders. Have mercy, O God. And indeed, God persists in being gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love. God forgives. And God invites us into a better future. A future that will require from us hard work and effort. A future that will be life-giving for all and not just for some. The prophet Isaiah stood humbled before God, convicted by the past, and at the same time, freed to face a new, more hopeful future. May we join Isaiah in declaring to God, "Here am I, send me." Amen.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to give us a like and even a comment. And please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.